dear students, welcome to our physics online classes. Dear students, in the last class we are discussed about the basic concept of science, that is what is meant by science, what are the branches of a science with the definition we are discussed. I hope all are understand those things. So here in this class we have to discuss whatever the concept are there, or what are the chapters are there for a ninth physics. So here our physics totally consists of 5 chapters for a ninth standard, including first semester and second semester. So here there are 5 physics chapter for a ninth class. First one is a motion, force and laws of motion, gravitation, work and energy, and sound. So these are the 5 chapters. These are the 5 chapters. Our physics consists of these 5 chapters. So here we are going to discuss one by one chapter. We already know that our syllabus, that means our examination, we are going to conduct the examination as in the form of a semester form. So here for the first semester we have 2 chapters. This is for a first sem. Okay, and remaining these chapters, these 3 chapters for a second sem. Okay, motion, force and laws of motion, these are the 2 chapters which you are going to learn for a first semester, and gravitation, work and energy, and sound, these chapters we are going to discuss for a second semester. So here these are the 5 chapters which we are consist. So all the what are the 3 chapters are there? In these 3 chapters, one chapter is related to another chapter, that means some concept are related from one chapter to another chapter. So because of that reason, whatever you are going to learning the things, just must you have to keep in your mind, especially formulas, units, definitions, and graphical representation. So these things you must keep in your mind, especially formula and units. If you know the formula and the units, the whatever the physics is, that physics is very dead easy to understand and to solve the problems. So I hope you will keep all the formula and the units in your mind. So in this class, just to begin with the chapter motion. What are the concept it consists? Okay, ಇವು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗಳಿದಾವೆ. ಯಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೋಷನ್, ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಷನ್, ಗ್ರಾವಿಟೇಷನ್, ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನು 3 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾವೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗಳು ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಏನ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಗಳನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಸೂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ, ಹಾಗೆ SI ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ತಪ್ಪದೆ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಹಾಗೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಅವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ motion. Okay, first chapter is motion. For motion in Kannada we are calling as chalane. Yes, in the earlier classes you already learnt. Yes, in the 7th classes, 8th class, you already learnt about the motion. So whatever you learnt in the last or previous years, those concepts are just going to extend. Okay, ಮೊದಲು ಕಲಿತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಗಳು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ಅ 9th ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಮೋಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿದಾವೆ? ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು know what are the concepts are present in the motion chapter. First one is the definition of motion and a rest. So first we have to understand what is motion, what is rest. That means what is the definition. ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮೋಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವಿತ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, how we are going to define a motion and a rest with the example. Which things we are going to observe daily in our day-to-day life. Those things are whether they comes for the example for motion and rest. Those things we have to ಥಿಂಕ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಚಲನ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾವೆ, ಯಾವ ಮೋಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ what is the distance, what is the displace? Generally we are using the term distance. So what is the distance from Lingscoor to Muddebihar? What is the distance from the Muddebihar to Bijapur? Or what is the distance from Bijapur to Bangalore? So like this we are going to observe the word the distance. So what is mean by exact definition of an distance according to our science? That thing we have to discuss. Displacement. So after knowing the definition of the distance, we have to know about the displacement. What is displacement? How it is differ from a distance? Then units. Distance ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಗಳು ಏನು, ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಇದಾವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್? By knowing the definition of a distance, displacement, units, we are going to differentiate between the distance and displacement. ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅರ್ಥ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಅರ್ಥ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅವೆಲ್ಲವುಗಳನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೂ ಏನು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮೋಷನ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಫೆಮಿಲಿಯರ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್. Just when you are all the children or especially students, you are wearing a uniform. That uniform is nothing but a same. So like that we are going to observe the motion as in the form of a uniform and also as in the form of a non-uniform. So what is the uniform and what is a non-uniform motion, where we are going to observe the presence of a uniform and a non-uniform motions. What are the differences also we are going to discuss, and how we can identify the uniform and non-uniform motion. That thing we have to discuss. Fourth concept is speed, velocity, acceleration, formulae and units. So this, whatever the distance, displacement, speed, velocity, accelerations are there, these are the some of the physical parameters. Okay, ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು physical parameters ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So these are the very basic concept for a physics. If you know about distance, displacement, velocity, speed, acceleration clearly, then you can understand the motion of a motion chapter in the different dimensions. So first understand velocity, speed, acceleration, and which formulas we are going to use to calculate the velocity, acceleration, speed and units. So and also we have to just discuss what are the differences between these parameters. ಇವು 5 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಗಳ ಅರ್ಥ, ಫಾರ್ಮುಲೆಗಳನ್ನ, ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ, ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವುಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮೋಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ 60% ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ the parameters. So fifth one is the graphical representation of a motion. So by knowing the definition of a motion and uniform, non-uniform motion, speed, velocity, acceleration, we are going to represent the motion as in the form of a graph. So how we are going to represent the graph motion as in the form of a graph? Why we are going to represent as in the form of a graph? So what is the necessity or what is the use of a representation of a motion in the form of a graph? That thing we have to discuss. motion ಅನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಅಥವಾ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ 2 graphs we are going to discuss in the 9th class. So next, 6th concept is equation of motion by a graphical method. So generally we have 3 equations of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus of at square, 2as is equal to v square minus u square. So these are the 3 equations of motion which we are commonly observe. So how we are going to derive these 3 equations by a graphical method that we have to know. So whatever this concept is there, that is very very important concept. This thing you are also going to study in a first PUC science. So the chapter is there, so all these things you are going to study, but with what is the graphical representation of a motion is there, it is very very important, and it consists of a derivation. So seventh concept, problems in text question and example. So based on the distance, displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, we have a example problems and some in text problems also we have, and in text question also we have. Based on this theories we have a problems and questions. Last one is a exercise. So after the completion of this complete chapter, there will be some questions are there in the exercise, which including the problems and theoretical questions. Those things we have to discuss. So this 8 concepts are present in the chapter motion. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೋಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ 8 ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗಳು ಏನಾಗಿದಾವೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ 8 ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಡೌನ್ ದಿಸ್ syllabus in your first page. Okay, yesterday's class what I have told, that also just write down, okay, by pausing the video. Okay, then next physics syllabus, you write down the 5 chapters. After that, for a new page, just you write the chapter name motion and a concept up to 8 concepts you have to write it. Okay, so this is about the introduction of a 9th class of physics chapter. In the next class we have to begin our chapter. I hope all are understand about the concept and syllabus. If you feel any difficulty, you can contact me. Okay, thank you to all.